Here, let's talk about the games happened on Friday. We got a bunch of them. The first game was kind of an upset. The Magic lost. Well, the Magic beat the Timberwolves. Timberwolves, Patrick Beverly played just 4 minutes, left the game. So with him out, Jaden McDaniels coming, played 32 minutes. He could be picked up and streamed depending on how long he's going to be out. And we know Malik Beasley has been balling as well. So these two guys we could look to stream as long as Patrick Beverly is out. And we know what Malik Beasley could do. He hit 13 threes. Sorry, he hit 11 threes the other night. 33 points. Everything is threes. So very, very big volume of threes coming in from Malik Beasley if you stream this guy. But again, I don't know how good the Timberwolves schedule is the next week. So make sure the Timberwolves have played 4 games this week. They have 4 games. And next week they got 3. So that could be a little bit tricky. They do have a game on Monday, Wednesday. But you could drop Timberwolves guys after Wednesday because they only have 1 game in 4 days. For Anthony Edwards, 25 points, a steal, 4 threes. Not bad, but again, the guy has not been great before the All-Star break and, since the All-Star break. Dealing with some injuries. Cat finally was able to get 14 shots. Jared Vanderbilt, I think he's a drop, especially if he's in the playoff. He's not really producing, and the minutes is super low. And the Wolves, they got 2 games. Monday, Wednesday, so I'm very okay dropping him after Wednesday's game. For Karl Anthony Towns, 2 steals and 2 blocks, 21 points, 13 rebounds. Incredible stuff, 8 for 8, a really good game for him. And D'Lo struggled, 7 assists and 13 threes. Okay. But we gotta hold D'Lo, even if they only have 3 games. The volume of assists and points, pretty good. Efficiency is always an issue. For the Magic, Franz Wagner, he hasn't had a good game for ages. I don't remember the last time he had a good game. Fun guy to let it go, if time comes. Wendell Carter Jr., great. Big double-double, 20-10, 2 threes. The problem with Wendell Carter Jr. is his efficiencies and lack of defensive stats. Very, very solid rebounder always. And Mo Bamba, good to see him playing 32 minutes, 2 blocks and 12 rebounds, and went off for 27 points versus Cat. His production is inconsistent. The minutes has been inconsistent. But, this is obviously a great game. And this is not a guy that we want to drop. Usually, the blocks he provides is so good. Cole Anthony, 2 threes, 15 points. Okay game. And Jalen Suggs played just 26 minutes. And Markelle Fultz, minutes start slowly ramping up. Jalen Suggs only played 26, while Markelle Fultz played 17, 18. If by the last week of the season, Markelle Fultz played 25 minutes, we could potentially look to stream him. Or if Jalen Suggs ever gets hurt, or Cole Anthony. Let's go to the next game. The LA Clippers lost to the Hawks, 106-112. Marcus Morris Sr. played 24 minutes, while Batum played 34. Yeah, the Clippers, we know they got 4 games this week. Next week, it's a little bit different story. They don't have a game on the next weekend. So you could stream some of these guys. Amir Coffey coming play 36, while Terrence Mann only, we know Robert Williams is going to be out for a little while. We don't know. We don't exactly know how long. So with Robert Williams out, it looks like Amir Coffey would get a few minutes, and even Luke Kennard got 31 minutes. So some of these guys we could stream Monday through Friday, and then drop them. Isaiah Hartenstein also could be a stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Provide really good blocks and field goal. Who only played 12 minutes with 4 fouls this game. Zubac completely went off. 24 points, 12 rebounds, a steal and 2 blocks. It doesn't happen every game. This game was against the Atlanta Hawks. Amir Coffey, 8 points, 3 assists and a steal. And Reggie Jackson, 25 points, 5 rebounds. Yeah, all the Clipper guys, man. They're very inconsistent. The minutes is inconsistent. So it's really, if they got good, they got a good number of games, you could stream all of them. If not, if they don't have a game on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in a close matchup, all these guys could be dropped. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter shot the ball well, 12 points, very average game. John Collins, again, another game in foul trouble. I think he had a foul trouble last time around. So Gallinari coming played 30 minutes, but usually Collins will be getting 30 minutes. So I don't think we should want to do anything with John Collins. And Atlanta Hawks got another 4 games next week. Although all those games are on high volume days and they don't have a back-to-back. But, Bogdanovich is a must roster, right? Especially with 4 games. Kevin Huerter could be interesting. DeAndre Hunter, right? Okongwu, if you need some defensive stats, he had 5 fouls in 17 minutes. And Trae Young played well again, 27 points, 11 assists. And let's look at the next game. The Detroit Pistons lost to the Boston Celtics 103-114. Yep, Marvin Bagley could be a good pickup. Just checking. Yeah, Detroit got 3 games next week, unfortunately. But Marvin Bagley, I think, deserves some attention, especially if you need some points and rebounds. Don't really trust him to do anything else. The efficiencies will be an issue a lot of the times, and lack of defensive stats. But Isaiah Stewart is going to be out for who knows, They're a young team. They're not playing for anything. Who knows? He could just be out and maybe shut down. Cade Cunningham played 41 minutes, 27 points, huge game. If he added some defensive stats, that would be great. But we see why, 10 for 27 from the field with 4 turnovers. And he played 41 minutes. This game did not go to overtime. So the fact that he played 40 minutes could be encouraging. We got a couple weeks left. So they're just going to play him huge minutes this game. It's the same thing with Sadiq Bey. They got a couple of guys out. So Dwayne Casey really shortened the rotation. Played Sadiq Bey 40 minutes as well. Didn't really do much, but he's a hold. Jeremy Grant, 1 steal and 3 blocks. That's great. But he's not, before he got hurt, he was averaging, 18, 19 points. Same thing with last year. He's not going to average that now that Cade Cunningham is playing. That's going to take a huge usage out of him. So don't expect him to put up great numbers. For the Celtics, Jaylen Brown took 22 field goals, 36%, 22. Yeah. Jaylen Brown, every time I look over his stats, give you 22, 23 points, but everything else is really mediocre. This game, bad efficiency and 8 rebounds and 1 steal, 4 assists. Marcus Smart, though, went off 5 steals, 5 assists, 2 threes. This is why we love Marcus Smart. 20 points, games like this, where he goes out for 5 steals and blocks, really high variance. Him having 5 steals maybe just helped you turn the tide around in that steal category. Robert Williams, only 1 steal and 1 block. That's disappointing. The man's averaging over 2.5 blocks in the last 2 weeks, but still great. Consider they played Detroit. Surprising to get more defensive stats. Al Horford, yep, he's inconsistent. I think he's still a hold. Celtics, they only got 3 games this week. Next week, sorry. Not this week. They have a game on Sunday, so gotta hold on to Al Horford. Maybe think about your strategy next week since they don't have a game to start off the week. If you really need what Al Horford brings to the table. Jason Tatum, 31 points, 2 threes, continues to play super, super well. He's been on a heater lately, dropping 50 points, dropping over 30 points, pretty much every single day, every other game. Derek White had a huge game, 31 minutes last time, had like 2 steals and 3 blocks. This game, just 23 minutes. They have a game on Sunday. I will continue to hold because he provides so many different categories. Of course, if you don't need the steals, you don't need the blocks, you don't need the threes, he's providing, those 3 categories. But everything else is kind of lackluster and the minutes is really not there. But, I haven't figured out the Celtics rotation, to be honest. Like, sometimes Derek White will get over 30 minutes. Sometimes games like this only gets 24. All right, let's go to the next game. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. Miami Heat beat the Cavs. They were without Jared Allen for the rest of the way, probably. So they're gonna struggle, winning some games, especially at Miami. It's a tough place. The number 1 team in the conference. Still, get Darius Garland, 4 for 17. That's not great, but 24 points still, put up 7 turnovers a year. That's going to be about 15 for 16 from the free throw line is actually huge. 10 assists and a steal. Isaiah Okoro played 30 minutes. He's not really fantasy relevant. And I do expect Evan Mobley to take a step up without Jared Allen. But the minutes, the rebounds, and all those things. 19 and 20, 12, that's pretty good. And one big thing is with his free throw. Can he just be a 75% free throw? In the last month or two, he's been shooting horribly from the field. If he then can improve he can move inside that top 40. Otherwise, even Giannis, right, with his bad free throw in 9 category leagues, he's just not going to be great. Lauren Markkinen, 15 points. Yep, we could also stream him. And Kevin Love, 11 points. If the Cavaliers got a good schedule, I don't mind having both of these guys. But Lauren Markkinen should be prioritized over Kevin Love. And let's look at the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, good game, 24 points, 3 steals and a block. But Jimmy Butler has not played that well lately. He's getting hurt. His efficiencies seem to be suffering a little bit. 70th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. This is obviously great. Reminded us why he's great. Good efficiency from the field and from the free throw line with added 3 steals and a block. Bam Adebayo, unbelievable. Continues to be just really good. 21st ranked player. That's honestly where he should be. He's getting drafted in the second round. And if he pounding threes, really good stuff. 8 for 8 from the free throw line. 3 steals and a block, 30 points, 17 rebounds. And with Kyle Lowry back, there's some games where he was getting 5 assists. Only had 1 assist this game. So, yeah, we should not expect Bam to average 5 whenever Kyle Lowry plays. Kyle Lowry, 10 assists and a block. It's, if you are deep into the playoffs, let's say next week or in the finals, and you don't need the assist, 100% let Kyle Lowry go. But he just gives you such a big boost from the assist category. Duncan Robinson hit 3 threes, that's great. Just a 3-point streamer, nothing else. And Max Strus out of nowhere played 19 minutes, hit 5 threes. Not really a streamer because the minutes is inconsistent. And Tyler Hero, 22 points and a steal. That's great. He's been getting some defensive stat. That will help his value a lot. But the rest of the line look okay. But he's always gonna give you points. That's very solid. We can count on that. Let's go to the next game. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Houston Rockets 113-100. Reggie Bullock, man, the guy. 2 weeks ago, there was a short stretch where he's, averaging over 15, 16 points a game, making 4 threes. Lately, this week, he's been struggling. He had one game where he had 0 points, went 0 for 7. But I think if you need threes, he's one of the guys out there on the waiver wire because the minutes is there and he's gonna attempt a lot of threes. It's a matter of if he, the opportunity, everything is there. It's if the shots are falling or not. Josh Green started. They have a couple guys out. Jalen Brunson was out. Dorian Finney-Smith was out. So Josh Green got the start. And look at that, 4 steals and 2 blocks. With this performance, if Dorian Finney-Smith and if Dorian Finney-Smith continue to miss games, we could stream him for a few games and just to see, what he can do. But as soon as Dorian Finney-Smith comes back, he's not gonna have any value. That's for sure. Dwight Powell, 9 for 11 from the field. That's interesting, right? The minutes lately for Dwight has been great, and he's been putting out some okay numbers. Well, 130th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. But like 66% from the field on 6 attempts, that's really nice. He's a really good field goal guy. But as a big man, he doesn't block shots, get no defensive stats, no threes. So there are a lot of issues with his fantasy game. But if you need the field goal, he could be an interesting pickup. Spencer Dinwiddie, 16 points, 2 steals in the block, continues to play well. We know Jalen Brunson was out this game, but he's playing way better than what he was on the Wizards before he got traded. Luka Doncic, 30 points, 14 rebounds with 5 threes, 6 assists. Free throw is an issue, but overall 2 blocks. He added 2 blocks, so we'll take those. And Maxi Kleber, man, had 3 fouls in 4 minutes. Didn't see any playing time while David Bertans get 21. So yeah, Maxi Kleber, if you want to stream him for 3 cent blocks, they got a good schedule. I don't hate it, but games like this do happen. For the Houston Rockets, Eric Gordon still getting the minutes. We are close to the season over. And Eric Gordon, this veteran, still playing on this, still starting, still getting minutes. I don't know Rockets doing him any favor, trying to get him a contract. I don't understand the logic, but he's still playing. Well, good thing is he only got 20 minutes because Kenny Martin Jr. played 30. As long as Jason Tatum is out, Kenny Martin Jr. needs to be picked up and streamed. And the Rockets, another 4-game week this week. They have a game on Sunday, and they don't have a game, any game on Monday, Tuesday. So if you're streaming Emperor Şengün, you got to make some decisions because I think Christian Wood could be back next game on Sunday's game. If Christian Wood is back on Sunday, you could definitely drop Şengün after Sunday because by the time Wednesday comes around, he's gonna come in and play 20 minutes. Can't really trust it. Had 5 fouls here in 20 minutes. Kevin Porter Jr. also had 4 fouls here. Everybody was fouling this game. Kevin Porter Jr.'s assist numbers has dipped quite a bit, but his efficiency is improved. Is he really worth holding on to? Right now, I prefer Jalen Green, who had a rough game, but lately he has been great and added 2 steals as well. And all the bench guys played 24 minutes when the game was out of control. Josh Christopher, this guy can put up numbers. If Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. are out, he could get a lot of defensive stat, hit threes, and score points. And obviously, Garrison Matthews, if Eric Gordon is out, he could come in and hit some threes. He had 3 steals here. That's pretty good. Let's go to the next game. The New York Knicks lost to the Grizzlies. They were up a little bit in the third quarter, and then Grizzlies just decided, hey, we're gonna start playing some defense. Jaren Jackson says, let's block some shots. Jaren Jackson had 5 blocks. A couple of on RJ Barrett, who went 9 for 25, 23 points, 7 rebounds. Bad efficiency across the board, but the volume is there. But come on, 9 for 25. He needs to be better. Same thing with Julius Randle. If their 2 star players just had a little bit better game, they would have, they just couldn't score in the fourth quarter. But Randle, huge game. 2 steals and 2 blocks, 6 assists, 12 rebounds, 36 points. And this is why, even though he struggled out of the games, really destroyed efficiency, we still got to look at him as a top 50 player, because he could have games like this. Mitchell Robinson, oh my God. He just plays better when in the second half of the season. Just really struggled well. Nerlens Noel out also helped him. But he's been getting huge minutes. Able to play 34 minutes even though he had 5 fouls, 16 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 blocks, and even added 4 assists as well. A monster game from him. Let's just hold on very tight. And the Knicks guard, we want to have Alec Burks, we want to have Evan Fournier, and Alec Burks had an okay game, 2 threes, 18 points, while Evan Fournier hit 3 threes. But these 2 guys and Emmanuel quickly also come and play 31. We could also stream him. But right now they're playing 3 guards because Derek Rose was out, has been out forever. Campbell is shut down, so now they only have 3 guards, so everybody's gonna eat a little bit. For the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr., another, if you don't look at the 5 blocks, another rough game. He had foul trouble, played just 27 minutes, but had 5 blocks, so that's great. 13 points with 2 threes. Steven Adams, just a rebound streamer, had 6 offensive rebounds. He's just really good at getting offensive, those tip outs. Desmond Bane, 2 threes, 12 points, 2 steals. Not the best game from Desmond Bane, and Ja Morant went off 37 points, just goes off every single game. And Dylan Brooks is going to be back, and let's see what happens with Desmond Bane, and let's see how good the schedule is. And let's look at your team situation. Because Desmond Bane, his best categories are his points and threes. And if you're in a situation where you don't need those, well, he provides some solid enough defensive stats. So that's kind of make it hard for you to drop him, right? Because he offers a little bit steals. Not like 1 steal is great. It's not like him having 1 steal really hurting your steal, right? If you have a guy that's get 0.4, 0.5, that hurts your steal a little bit at the end of the day, right? And the rest of the bench guys, Brandon Clark comes in, had 2 steals and 4 blocks. That's pretty huge. He's also another guy we could look potentially to stream. The next game, the Charlotte Hornets scored 142 points on the Pelicans. Absolutely no defense is being played, and the news came out that Brandon Ingram's getting out. That really sucks. They've been playing well. But hey, Brandon Ingram but that's different because from some like if from Shea because they're trying to make the play, so he should be back. They're gonna at least try to make him. They're right now just one game ahead of the Spurs, so they really need to win some games. Otherwise, they're not gonna be in the plays. For the Hornets, Miles Bridges continues to be solid. The 9 assists stands out. Hit 4 threes. PJ Washington, if you look for some defensive stats and some threes, he's been starting, wasn't in some foul trouble. I don't mind having him. Mason Plumlee, 2 steals and a block, 9 points. Sure, if you're punting free throws and threes, could do that. Could stream him. And for the Hornets, just looking ahead. Well, they don't have any games left this week. So if you're streaming some of these guys, like if you're streaming PJ Washington, you gotta make some tough choices. They only have 3 games next week as well. Terry Rozier, another great game, 25 points, 8 assists, and 2 steals with 7 threes. Yeah, you can't drop Terry Rozier. He provides way too many categories. And LaMelo Ball, 17 points, 9 assists, and 3 steals, and 2 threes. Solid enough, but consider they scored 142 points. I expect better line from LaMelo Ball. And all the guys ate. Cody Martin coming, play well, Montrezl Harrell, but how much can you really trust these guys to get 25 minutes every game in the first place and put up productions? For the Pelicans, with Brandon Ingram out, they're going with RJ Marshall. So, hey, the Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans, they have another game on Sunday and then the next week's schedule because they're not going to have Brandon Ingram for a while. So, consider just, maybe look at Marshall and Devontae Graham is going to come in and get some huge minutes. This game, Trey Murphy went off 32 points and 9 rebounds. And he actually ate into Valanciunas. Well, Willie Gomez also played well. So Valanciunas weirdly only played 25 minutes because some of the bench guys were playing well. And also it was a blowout. So he should be back. He should get a usage boost with Brent. I mean, all the guys, Devontae Graham, they need some guard play. So he should, as long as Brandon Ingram is out, he needs to be picked up actually. But again, unfortunately, Pelicans only get 1 game from Monday to Thursday next week. If we were to look ahead, fine. They have another game on Sunday, and if this week you're in a tight matchup, you could definitely pick him up, Devontae Graham on Sunday, to have him give you a big boost in assists and threes, and maybe score a little bit too. Herbert Jones continues to be solid, 8 rebounds, 12 points, and 1 steal. That's solid enough for me. Jackson Hayes, 13 points and 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And Jackson is interesting. With Brandon Ingram out, he should also get a few more minutes. He wasn't doing much in the games prior to this, but with Brandon Ingram out, if the guy is getting 30 minutes, we should trust him just for a few more games. Let's look at him, what happens on Sunday, and then make some decisions next week. And Tyrone Wallace is on this team. Interesting. Let's go to the next game. The Utah Jazz and the Spurs. The Jazz actually really bad loss, 102-104, and Popovich broke the record all-time most wins coach. I guess they did it for him. Donovan Mitchell, let's start off with him. Donovan Mitchell has not been great. Struggled with his shot again, but hey, that's what happens with Mitchell. He goes up and down, with his shooting percentages. But 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 threes is okay. Overall, not a bad game, but if you look at him as a top, first round player that lackluster a little bit in the past couple weeks. Mike Conley 2 for 14, but he made it up with five steals and 5 assists, 8 points. Royce O'Neal, if you need some defensive stats, you could always stream him. And interestingly, Daniel House coming and played because Bogdanovic was out. Maybe you could look at if he gets 30 minutes within this Jazz system, I think he's gonna get some defense. He's gonna hit some threes. So if Bogdanovic continues to be out, we could stream him. Jordan Clarkson, if you need scoring and threes, sure. And Rudy Gobert took just 3 shots, 16 rebounds, 5 blocks. Overall, a huge game, 9 for 10 from the free throw line as well. Jordan Clarkson had a pretty good game, 17 points and 8 rebounds with the steal and the block. And the Jazz, this week, some of the guys you wanted to stream is Jordan Clarkson, Hassan Whiteside, right? Coming off the bench, providing value in certain categories. Whiteside 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Yes, that's always a concern, but 6 for 7 from the field is good. 10 rebounds and no blocks, unfortunately. Usually he gets you a couple blocks. For the Spurs, Keldon Johnson, a double-double. Sure, Devin Vassell is a guy that, I'm paying attention to. Didn't play well, to be honest, ever since Derek White's trade. There are a couple games where he gets some defensive stat, but that's really it. And Josh Richardson coming played 34 minutes. And Lonnie Walker came off the bench, played 29. So if Josh Richardson continues to get the minutes, we could also look to stream him. He has some decent value. Jakob Poeltl, a double-double with 2 blocks. Sure, Poeltl has been pretty consistent all year. And just want to look at the Spurs schedule just to see what's going on. The San Antonio Spurs, yep, they have a back-to-back Friday, Saturday. So you definitely want to stream, you should have streamed the guy before yesterday's game. Like I would even stream John Collins, even if you're just getting 20 minutes. Because if you're just using one acquisition, you get 2 games out of him. That's 40 minutes of John Collins. You could provide some blocks and some other stuff. Devontae Murray continues to be solid. Struggle with the front of the field and the free throw line, but my God, 5 steals, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 27 points. He has been one of the biggest surprises this year, I would say. And I think next year, why not? I think he should put up similar production and let the Spurs shake up their roster, get somebody else. Because I don't see, with the cover, everything's going to go through Devontae and without Derek White. Yeah. For the Toronto Raptors, the next team, they beat the Phoenix Suns. That's tough, even though they still don't have CP3. So this is a big win for the Raptors. And, big, because they are in that play A 7th seed. If they make a push, because the Cavaliers, they lost Jared Allen. So they might be slipping. They're only 2 games behind the Cavs. So if they could make the 6th seed, that would actually be huge. Because you got to play the Nets first. And the 9th seed and 10th seed team from the East is no clouds like the Hornets and the Hawks. No, not easy. This game, Fred VanVleet, since the injury, he hasn't played well. And that's kind of expected. Just give him a few games to ramp up. But that's why, if Nick Nurse play this man 40 minutes every night, he's going to get hurt at some point. And if he gets hurt, he comes back, he may not be the same. But next game, he could have a good game. But, the first 2 games he struggled because he was hurt. He was out for a while, right? So basically, you didn't have him for the past 2 weeks. You got him, you got Freddie back for this week. They played 2-3 games, whatever. But that's not Fred VanVleet that we used to see. He's been really bad, and he obviously missed all the games on last week, which they played 5 games. Same thing with OG Anunoby. That really sucks, But Anunoby is probably a drop. And with OG out, Scotty Barnes and Siakam. Scotty Barnes is gonna eat a huge game, 5 steals and 2 blocks. My God, this man has been unreal lately. 15 points. And Pascal Siakam, 25 points, 10 assists. 10 assists stands out. Fred VanVleet only got 4. 7 rebounds, a good game from him. And Gary Trent Jr. absolutely went off. 8 threes, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. That's huge. That's the underrated part. 8 for 8 from the free throw line is huge. And 13 for 21 from the field. That's also huge, 42 points. Gary Trent Jr. is also probably the biggest draft steals this year. Because nobody take him inside that top 100. And on the season, 36 ranked player. One of the biggest surprises. And averaging 2 steals. Yeah, the steals is going to stay. Even though he didn't get any steals this game. And some of the bench guys, Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, they don't have a good schedule. We could let all of these guys go. For the Phoenix Suns, Cameron Payne, must roster. He had 24 points and only 4 assists this game. So I do expect him to get close to 7-8 most nights. He needs to do a little bit scoring this game. That's fine. Devin Booker was crazy bad. A -21, while Cameron Payne was a +15. Tough loss, but they should bounce back from this. DeAndre Ayton continues to be a really good field goal guy, 8 for 11, but low rebound, low blocks. That's just not gonna cut it for a guy that we're gonna take 3rd or 4th round. I would not take DeAndre Ayton next year in the 3rd or 4th round because As a big man, just doesn't get big rebound and big blocks. And outside the blocks and rebound, he doesn't really offer you huge assists, huge steals, no threes. The scoring wasn't high enough to justify his draft position. Meanwhile, Jay Crowder used to be picked up and streamed, right? 2 steals and 2 threes, 13 points. And if Cameron Johnson plays next game, we also need to pick him up. He's a must roster. Mikal Bridges had 2 threes, 18 points. That's not bad at all. All right, let's go to the last game of the day. The Washington Wizards lost to the Lakers 109-122. My God, LeBron dropped a 50-point game. Very, very impressive. Well, this game not as impressive as what he did versus the Warriors, because the Warriors is a good defensive team. Wizards, not really. Kristaps Porzingis, huge game, 14 rebounds, a steal and a block, 8 on the free throw line is huge, but he's gonna rest tomorrow. But as long as he's playing, that's totally fine. KCP, it's fine. It's fine to still stream him. He obviously struggled versus the Lakers. Raw Neto, Danny Advia, my God, only 10 minutes, so we can't really trust it. Ish Smith playing 18. So the Wizards guards is a little bit, from what we've seen so far, Corey Kispert has been getting consistent 30 minutes, but too bad. Other than threes, he doesn't really offer anything else. Like if we know Danny Advia is getting 30 minutes a night, then he needs to be streamed. So right now, I think Daniel Gafford is still a guy. He played just 20 minutes next to Kristaps Porzingis, and Kristaps Porzingis is not going to play Saturday, so Gafford might get some extra minutes. But Gafford, even if he plays 20, we could stream him for some blocks and field goal. And Kyle Kuzma continues to play well, but yeah, 3 for 9 from the free throw is really killing you. That's really the only concern with him. I think everything else is pretty solid. The points, the rebound, the threes. All right, let's look at the Lakers. Malik Monk, from a fantasy perspective, he needs to be rostered. He's been playing really well in the last 2 weeks, getting a lot of defensive stats, hit threes. And with AD out, we got to have him. 56 ranked player. Come on, guys. He's a must roster. Let's go grab him and see where things go. Russell Westbrook, you could argue, is worse than Malik Monk. Right? 9 assists is fine, a steal and a block, but just absolutely killing you in those efficiency category this game. And just a ticking time bomb, it's going to count once a week. 1 for 4 on the free throw line, 2 for 11. And good thing is he only had 1 turnover because LeBron James had the ball all the time. He had 50 points. My God. Yeah, not much to talk about LeBron. Just super solid. But he's going to miss games. I do believe that. Back-to-backs rest of the season. But whenever he plays, expect him to play great. Taylor Horton-Tucker had 15 points, 2 steals. Also, we could look at him and he's been okay. The Lakers got a good schedule. Well, he's not ranked in the last 2 weeks. But Lakers, they have another game on Sunday. So if you need somebody, you could look at Taylor Horton-Tucker. Austin Reeves, if you need threes, you could also look at him. But Russell Westbrook, I don't know if we're ready for this conversation yet, but if you're trying to win efficiencies, which you should not have been in the first place if you have Russell Westbrook, you might consider dropping him in weeks where you don't need to win assists. Because at this point, Russell Westbrook, the only category he's giving you is the assist. Well, that's not true. He had a huge game last time where he had 30 points, actually. I just looked it up. But assists is really his best category. He's not been getting any steals, which used to be one of his best categories. In Oklahoma City, he was averaging 2 steals a game, right? On Houston Rockets, 1.5 at least last year. But in the last 5 games, he only got 1 steal, right? And before this game, he's averaging like 5 to 6 assists. Rebound is okay, so a little bit assist and rebound. The points is, 17, 18 points a game is okay, but it's not gonna, you could easily get a guy off the waiver give you 12, 13, right? So, but he hurts you. Like he could single-handedly lose you the efficiency. So again, like if you're trying to win efficiency and you're trying to win turnover, and you don't need the assist, I think Russell Westbrook could definitely be a drop in the playoffs. You don't really need him. And that's it for all the games, guys. I'll see you next time.